Welcome back to our channel.
Oh, where's mine?
We are supposed to be traveling in our motorhome in Europe right now, but we're not. We're taking a short break, but we're heading back to Italy soon.
I hope you guys don't hear that.
Instead of making travel-related content, we're making some odd videos reflecting on the past 2 years traveling through Europe in our motorhome. And this one will be no different. We are going to look at the best and maybe the worst, don't take this too seriously, of maybe, 10 countries?
10 countries. Should I list them quickly?
No, you guys gotta check till the end to know which ones we're talking about. So let's kick this off. Welcome to our channel. We're Andre and Lisa. Over the last 20 years, we have traveled together to more than 40 countries. 5 years ago, we embarked on a long-term sabbatical and have been nomadic ever since. For most of the past 2 years, we have been exploring Western Europe with our motorhome. This year, we plan to make our way through Eastern Europe towards Denmark for summer. We'll be heading south for winter and just maybe make it to Morocco. So hit that subscribe button and join our adventure.
Should we try and guess each other's answers?
I think we're actually going to be closer to each other, you think? In no particular order.
In geographical order.
In no particular order. France.
The best thing about France is not just the croissant, but
Excuse me?
croissant. The almond croissants with a nice marzipan almond soft center and the flaky almonds on top covered in icing sugar. There is nothing in France
Is that the best thing about France?
that beats an almond croissant.
Oh yeah, I was going to wax
You're going
literally on the scenic routes and the food and wine and stuff. But actually what I like the most about France is that it's super friendly towards motorhome living. There's just loads and loads of dedicated parking areas for motorhomes, and it makes it great to explore the country. So what's bad?
The bad thing...
Wait, there it is. Narrow roads.
That's actually only my third bad thing.
All right. Okay, well, that's my bad thing. There's some beautifully scenic roads, but I tell you what, in the rural areas, they can be windy, narrow. It can be a bit of a challenge.
Not only in the rural areas, but even where it's really touristy. If you think about Gorge de Badon and how narrow those roads are with the overhanging cliffs and things. My worst thing about France is the incredibly long laundry cycles that you find predominantly at the French campsites, where they want to wash for 3 hours, which means that there's such a long line and it takes forever to get laundry done in France.
At laundromats, it's not really true. The French just like their clothes clean, okay? They like wearing white. And they look good at it.
Spain. Now, we all know that I absolutely love Spain, and I could list 10 things that are the best about Spain. But the absolute best to me is the long and wide beach boardwalks that you find all along the south and I think the north of Spain too.
Oh, it's funny. I thought the same. For me, the best thing about Spain is the sunny and warm climate, even in winter. We know why people flock to Spain over winter, and I agree. It's a bit boring to say, oh, it's a sunny winter. But you know what's different there? The sky's actually blue. You're bad?
I really struggled to find something bad about Spain. The worst thing that I could think about is the fact that it's so amazing and it pulls so many people over the summer months.
So for me, the bad is everything stops
Oh, yes.
in the afternoon. Spanish love their siestas. Forget about walking through a town from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We've literally thought that places are abandoned somehow. And then you start investigating, see, no, come back at 5:30, 6 p.m. sometimes. And then it's dark. Why would I do that? Portugal! Just don't say pastel de nata.
Oh, is that yours?
No, it's not. But it can be actually. The best thing about Portugal for me is the super affordable campsites. You can actually go to a campsite or a camper motorhome parking, and it's considerably cheaper than even Spain. You really get excellent value. Now, there's obviously the other things like how affordable it is and how beautiful it is, which I all agree with, but that's mine.
The best thing for me about Portugal is the fact that it's a compact country with so much diversity. So you don't have to travel very long distances. It's got an incredible coastline, which is also different from the south to the north.
My bad about Portugal is how many pastel de natas is too many. I left Portugal fat. Your fault, Portugal, your fault.
The worst thing to me about Portugal is the fact that it's the westernmost country in Europe. So it's quite far to get to. If you're in Central Europe, you have to really travel all the way there. So it's a silly thing, but I couldn't think of anything else that was bad about Portugal. No. Belgium.
Belgium.
And I get to pick.
Okay, I know what you're going to say.
And it's not what you might think it is.
Is it chocolate?
No, it's not. No,
wait.
Belgian
is
chocolate.
Is it waffles?
It's waffles. The Liga waffle in Belgium just surprised me so much. I mean, we all know that Belgian chocolates are good. That's indisputable. But the Liga waffle is special. You have to try it, and you have to try it in Belgium.
I would agree. The waffles are fantastic. The food is fantastic. The beer is wonderful. One thing I really enjoyed about Belgium, it's one of the countries where I can, especially in the north, where people speak Flemish or Dutch, is that I can read stuff. Because we speak Afrikaans, so I can actually understand what's going on. And that's quite rare in most of Europe for me.
Am I allowed to say one more good thing?
Okay, well.
I was also surprised that it had such beautiful countryside and stunning cities.
It's amazing historic cities. It's really quite beautiful. I mean, Brussels, Bruges, Ghent, they're all actually quite perfect for motorhome travel. We're promoting Belgium here, not sponsored by Belgium Tourism, but hey guys, if you're interested.
Because I hate to tell you that I have nothing under the worst about Belgium. There was honestly nothing that I could complain about except that we spent too little time there.
It's quite expensive. So that's one of my, I think it's one of those Western, okay, look, we can say there's a lot about Western European countries, but Belgium, like its cousin, the Netherlands, it's known as an expensive country, but I'm not going to dwell on expensive. Let's just say because it's quite compact, there's can be a lot of traffic, and quite popular.
Let's move on to a smaller country, even smaller country, Luxembourg.
Oh no, I didn't do Luxembourg, did I? No. I'll wing it. I didn't do it, but I'll wing it.
For a very small country and a very expensive country, to me what stood out is the fact that the public transport is free within the city centre. Now that stands out for somebody going to an expensive country and just gives you the opportunity to move around and to see a little bit more.
You know what? Public transport is free, but we've cycled. The best thing about Luxembourg is I bought my annual supply of t-shirts.
I was going to say that.
In Luxembourg. That's a win, because everybody knows how much I love shopping. The worst thing about Luxembourg?
They only had 5 in stock.
They only had 5 t-shirts. But the best thing about Luxembourg, surprisingly for me, is that the fuel prices are considerably lower than the surrounding countries. So top tip, if you go through Luxembourg, put some fuel in.
And from the smallest country to the biggest country that we visited, and that's Germany.
I've got a sneaky suspicion the best and the worst might be the same thing. The best thing about
I've got a good one.
Germany is they've got the best roads in Europe, by far.
The worst thing about Germany is the traffic. That's what I said.
Because they got such good roads. I told you there's going to be the best and the worst. They have got amazing roads, and there's no tolls on the roads for cars. So that's quite nice. Now, top tip, if you drive through Germany on Sundays, there's no trucks or large vehicles on the main highways. Here's the best part, the worst part. On Sundays, there's no trucks, but they're all at the rest stops.
Oh yes, don't try and pull over on the side of the road on a Sunday.
Packed, absolute chaos. But that's not really the best thing about Germany. We love you, Germany.
The best thing about Germany is not only in Germany, it's all over the show. It's Lidl. Not sponsored by Lidl. We're thanking Germany for Lidl, but in general, shopping is actually just so affordable and with such a large variety, not only of German produce, but of absolutely anything that you need to find. It's easy to find it in Germany.
I think from a consumer perspective, it's one of the more affordable Western European countries. The worst surprise to me from Germany was credit cards aren't as widely accepted as you would think. Secondly, people don't really speak a lot of English. And thirdly, we got pulled over by the police while we were cycling. That was weird. I mean, I guess there's nothing else to do. But
next country is moving into Denmark.
Okay, my coffee's getting cold. Wait. Okay,
stop dancing.
Okay, go.
Denmark. Now, we love Denmark. But the absolute best thing about Denmark has to be the fact that it's coast. It is such a long coastline, and the fact that you're never further than 50 kilometers from the coast, and that with all that space, it's not busy.
The best thing about Denmark are the Danish.
And he doesn't mean the people.
I say that tongue in cheek because obviously you don't get Danishes in
They're
Denmark.
called Danes.
Well, I'm talking about the
people or the food?
The food. So what we know as a Danish is actually not a Danish in Denmark. It's called a Wienerbrot.
And it comes from Austria.
But they do make delicious sweet stuff. Quite a surprise, actually. I was also quite surprised that Denmark felt very spacious for such a small country. And it might have to do with the fact that it's actually like slightly overlooked. Like you say, the coastlines are phenomenal, and the feeling of openness is really quite remarkable.
I also mentioned safety. It really does stand out. And together with that, what I found was the first country that I noticed it is all these little flea market stalls along the side of the road where people just sell something outside their house, and there's a little honesty box for the money, and the product just stands there. I think they're called Loppen. All over Denmark, and that just shows you once again how safe it is and how trusting and open the society is.
Yeah, then they allow the South Africans in. Bad idea, Denmark, bad idea. But we love you. We're coming back. We see you in August. Okay, bad thing about Denmark. Now, it's a tricky one, but I'll put my finger on the obvious. Now, Scandinavia has this general problem, but Denmark, the weather can be unpredictable. It is expensive, but I don't think it's the most expensive Scandinavian country by a long shot. We've got a lot of good to say about Denmark.
A lot. So I mentioned also the fact that it's got long summer days, the roads, the people, safety.
If you guys want to know a bit more about Denmark, we actually did a dedicated Denmark in review and why we love Denmark as a motorhome destination. I will link down below.
Let's continue into Scandinavia and move into Sweden. The marinas. The marinas are absolutely beautiful with their little red and white houses. It just looks like it's out of a storybook. There's no other way to put it than that. And that's not even seeing it in the wintertime with the snow.
I actually thought about the marinas too, because there's this amazing sort of summer yachting culture around Scandinavia. And Sweden, it's really well manifested. So as motorhomers?
As overlanders.
No, well, we do travel overland in a vehicle. Does it make us overlanders?
Yes.
As motorhome travelers, we also love visiting these marinas and staying over there as they cater to our needs as well. And it actually gives you the opportunity to stay right in the little marina with the yachts for excellent value. Can I say something else about Sweden?
Yes.
Especially around the Gothenburg area, there's this like archipelago, and you just can't help but feeling like this is the essence of summer Swedish living. It's just, you see the way the people go about their day and enjoying the long daylight hours.
Spending time on the water, on their boats, just
really,
recreationally.
Really love that part of Sweden. Love the fact that people enjoy summer. The bad thing about Sweden is you can only buy liquor in a government-controlled store. You can buy low alcohol beer in the supermarket, but nothing else for you, sorry.
I said the worst thing about Sweden is the fact that its weather is bad generally. So throughout the year, you only have a few months of good weather.
In all fairness, we've only seen a little bit of Sweden, so we haven't explored much of it, but what we've seen, we've really liked, and we actually might pop back into Sweden on our way to Denmark this year.
My other thing, which is linked to the marinas, is the fact that because they have all these marinas and the boats that have to come in and out, they have loads of opening bridges.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So I have to say that.
Quite cute. Okay, moving on to the last Scandinavian country,
Norway.
Now, everybody knows why everybody loves Norway. I will start with saying that Norway by far has got the most striking landscape, and you can literally pick any road and see stuff, and that's going to blow your mind. It's just absolutely unreal. It's one of those unique places that's got these snow-capped mountains, majestic fjords, incredibly pristine lakes. It's just this combination of vistas that you just can't look away from.
And with that is the fact that the roads are just so on the water's edge. It's the most incredible water's edge driving.
That beauty comes with a bit of a price in summer, unfortunately, because Norway is a super popular destination. You will be sharing that narrow road.
Very narrow road.
With everybody else. So that's I suppose the bad part. I think from a motorhome perspective, I also had different expectations with how easy it would be to find places to overnight. But because how busy it is, and because of, we're restricted to access nature areas, you're sort of limited to layovers and car parks, which you share with a lot of other people.
I definitely said that the worst thing about Norway is the fact that the roads are so narrow, they're steep up and down, and the distances. The fact that we'd love to explore so much more, but everything is so far, far apart. And even though they're gorgeous roads, they're just so long.
We're going to have to go back to Norway. In fact, I'm thinking about a cunning plan already. I'll share that with you in the next video.
Your plan and my plan are different.
Last
The last country.
Of Italy.
Italy. The best thing about Italy is undoubtedly the food and the gelato. Does gelato count as food?
People have it for breakfast in Sicily. It must be food.
So for me, best thing, definitely food, gelato, and of course the people.
People are passionate. People are interesting and colorful and enthusiastic. And Italy as a country has got this combination of ingredients which makes it such an enigma in the world. And whenever you mention Italy, everybody just likes the idea of Italy.
And there really is something that you can feel in Italy that gives you that positivity.
Now, I know what you're going to say about what's bad. So I'll let you go first and I'll pick the other one because I've got two.
I also have two, but definitely the combination of the bad roads and the drivers, the Italian drivers, have got to be the worst in the entire world.
Funny thing is, Italians really know how to take their time and maximize quality of life.
I'm having a coffee.
They don't overindulge. They relax. They take time to talk to people, spend time with family. They stop for a coffee 5 times a day, but put them behind the steering wheel and they're always late. They're always in a hurry. They cannot stay behind you. It's impossible. So for me, the bad thing about Italy, unfortunately, it is its worst own enemy. In summer, it can become extremely busy, crowded, and add the heat and mosquitoes to that. And it actually makes quite a crazy place to be, which we obviously try to avoid as best as possible.
There's one little pet peeve that I've got about Italy, and that's the beach lidos.
Oh.
The fact that the beaches get covered with chairs and umbrellas and access gets controlled to it, and there's not enough free beach area available.
More than a pet peeve for us, actually. It's quite a major annoyance. The idea that the public is effectively denied access to their own beaches is just bizarre. And I know technically they can access the beach, but sometimes it's just not possible. There's no way to the beach.
It's made difficult. That's annoying.
I think that wraps it up.
We hope you guys enjoyed listening to our best and our worst of these 10 countries in Europe. Please drop us a comment. Tell us what your best and worst favorite things are about these countries, or even other countries that we haven't been to.
And just remember, this is all just
fun and giggles.
It's all fun. So, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we will be back in Europe soon.
Very soon.
Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, make sure you follow us, and we soon be head off on our next adventure. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Ciao.